Outside the major parties, the Greens are launching a new advertising campaign on Monday which rejects the ALP and coalition as being out of touch. Education, the environment, rights for asylum seekers and gay marriage are the key planks as the party targets inner city seats, particularly in Melbourne and Sydney. Claire Harvey, the Greens are pretty confident from all accounts that they're going to keep Melbourne, at least, in the hands of Adam Bandt. What are your thoughts on sort of how they're going to go at this election? There's been a lot of talk about whether they're growing in relevance or becoming more irrelevant. Or
yeah, I think Melbourne is certainly in prospect for them. I think they have absolutely no chance in Grayndler, which is Anthony Albanese's seat in inner Sydney. They've pre-selected there someone who is quite proudly a communist, and I know that's caused some tension within the Greens. I think they'll probably do quite well in the Senate, but whether that translates to seats, I'm not sure. It should translate to a bit more cash for the Greens to spend next time around at the very least.
I heard Bob Brown on radio the other day saying, every election campaign, this debate goes on and everyone writes them off and says, they're no longer relevant and they're going to lose everything, and then they always seem to come back.
Yes,
pretty much, status quo.
Yeah, they'll often get a massive donation from either a philanthropist or one of the crusty old unions somewhere around the country, and suddenly their prospects massively improve, which is interesting given that the ad that they've launched today is sort of like getting into a warm bath. It's very touchy-feely. They couldn't be more positive if they tried. The Greens they're clearly trying to get themselves away from any connection with Labor. Climate change is not really mentioned in the ads. I think, is that right? It's refugees, gay marriage and education.
There is, I don't know if it's that one ad, but there is some environment stuff one. Obviously
right.
going on in
it's interesting to see going back to it.
They have obviously changed away from I just want to move on because Sunday is going to see the first of the major debates between the leaders. Prior to that, though, will be the first round of the Sunday morning political shows since the election was called. Here's a look at what's in store on the 10 network.
How bad is this election campaign? Get this. The government's deficit just blew out by another $33 billion. We've lost 10,000 jobs. Growth is slowing. So what did the Prime Minister do yesterday? Held up a jar of Vegemite. Told you the Liberals plan to put a GST on it, make you pay another 51 cents. Thing is, that is a lie. The Liberals say they have zero plans for a GST on food, and it would be suicide if they did. Sure, the Liberals aren't pure either. They must still tell us where they'll make all the cuts they need to pay for their promises. And let's hope they are cuts, not more taxes. Spending in this country is out of control. We need a serious debate about how to get back on track, get Australians back into jobs. Lies about Vegemite? Don't waste our time, Prime Minister. And Mr Abbott, more detail. More on the Bolt Report tomorrow on Channel 10 at 10 o'clock and 4 p.m.
Week one of election 2013 is done, and it's fair to say there have been winners and losers on all sides of politics. 10's political editor Hugh Riminton has been in the thick of it all week and will leave the campaign trail just long enough to join us on the panel tomorrow. Janet Albrechtsen from The Australian will also join us on the couch with her take on the week that was. Housing affordability has been identified as one of the burning issues for voters as they head to the polls. Interest rates are at record lows after another cut this week, but will that be enough to ease the concerns of spooked home buyers? We have an interview with one of Australia's leading economists. But if you've had enough of politics for a while, join us for our exclusive interview with Australia's new Prince of the Pool, Christian Sprenger, fresh from his gold medal win in Spain. He almost retired last year, but now has his sights set firmly on Rio. Join us tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. on 10.
And Claire, what about the Sunday telly tomorrow?
Oh, my favourite story in the paper tomorrow is about furniture, of all things. The Commonwealth Parliamentary offices in Sydney, the government's moving out. Instead of taking the furniture with them a few blocks down the hill to Bridge Street, they're selling it all off. So you can have for your home, if you like, the 36-seat cabinet table, which was commissioned for about $100,000 in 1986 and probably will now get about $3,000.
And one assumes that they will then just go and buy a whole bunch of
They
stuff.
have already invested in some very, very expensive new Italian chairs. So there's lots of other fun stuff in the paper as well.
Okay, and of course the big one tomorrow night. 6:30 p.m. The first of the debate between the leaders kicks off. Obviously we're all incredibly interested. I'm not sure if the commercial TV networks actually believe that Australians are, but that'll be on. What will you be looking for?
I'm hoping for a little bit of moving away from the scripted speeches. I think that is an absolute atmosphere killer in debates. I hope there's some spontaneity. Hopefully there'll be some kind of argument. I hope it gets a little bit heated, and hopefully they won't say fair dinkum in every sentence.
Hosted by Sky News' David Spears, of course, and we will actually have full live coverage across all News Corp sites from 6:15 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. We'll have a panel prior to the debate and then some analysis afterwards, so you can watch that on all of our sites from 6:15 p.m. Claire, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
Great to talk to you. You can catch this show every evening across all News Corp websites by following the links to the Voice of Australia. I'm Kylie Merritt. Thanks for your company.